So you want to do Cavs and then we'll bring Bernie in?
Yeah, so there's rumors going around, some rumblings in the Twitter sphere that JB is going to be safe and his hot seat pressure is completely going away because of these injuries to Garland.
Well, they've also won 3 in a row.
And they are winning. There is that.
Look
and
at
Mitchell
last
didn't
night.
even play last night.
They pulled out a win last night. It's equivalent to the Browns doing what they've been doing.
Yeah, it's a good win.
So you're saying that
there's rumors of Donovan Mitchell being traded. Somebody from Yahoo put out an article yesterday saying that the Cavs are not listening. None of us have ever heard of this guy, so I don't know if he has any real insight.
Right.
The bottom line is it seems that 3 teams we've heard, I think Brian Windhorst put this out, the Nets, the Knicks, and the Heat are apparently all trying to get Donovan Mitchell. And I guess the question is, should the Cavs consider trading Donovan Mitchell?
The consideration is always this is why I get angry when you talk about the Cavs. The consideration is always there. If you have a player on your team, these executives are crazy. Like, you just look up like at the way the NBA moves with young superstars in their prime. There's always a threat they're going to roll out. There's always. He didn't sign his contract. He doesn't have to. And I think the Cavs and people are wondering, when is he going to show outwardly that he doesn't want to be there, right? Because usually LeBron or Kyrie, we've been through this quite a few times. They'll give you some inkling by their body language, or they'll backdoor channel it and leak some stories that they're not happy.
Have you seen any of that yet?
No. Not with Donovan Mitchell.
Well, there's been stories leaked, not necessarily that he's not happy, but that he's going to leave.
So here's the thing. He's never going to tell you straight up, I don't want to be here.
Right.
He's never going to, because he's too savvy, and his father works in an administration somewhere. Like, he knows what to say and what not to say.
Well, not just somewhere in New York.
Yeah, and he understands what you should and shouldn't say to keep your reputation at bay. If anything, Donovan Mitchell's stock goes up. Because they're going to say, well, look how he carried the Cavs without Evan Mobley. Look how they carried the Cavs without Darius Garland. So he has leverage. He never was going to sign that deal. And you have to think about it. He got traded from Utah. He got here. He's like, what's the difference between Utah and Cleveland? Am I going to be able to win? We could be a top 4 seed, but do I have enough here? And the answer is no, he does not have enough. They could go to the playoffs, maybe win a round, but if you're not going to be a championship caliber team, then what? He's going to at least go to somewhere where he can be what he wants.
The weird thing to me is, and I would, listen, I wanted them to trade for him. Obviously, to this point, in terms of team success, the trade hasn't worked out. And if you got blown away with an offer, then I think you'd have to consider it, because they're not winning a championship this year. And you'd probably trade him at the end of this year anyway, if he's not going to. If you think there's no chance of signing him, you'd have to do it. So I think in the end they should consider it. But the Cavs march to the beat of their own drummer, so I would be surprised if they did. But the funny thing is, if he wants to go to the Knicks, the Knicks are a decent team, but are they a championship contender with him? I'm not sure. Are they?
Well, I would. My hesitation to go in with the Knicks is, do you think that front office and owner is going to pull it together enough to win a title?
Yeah, I mean, they haven't been
like it's happened here with people still with the organization. They've done it. Now, granted, LeBron was here.
Yeah.
But this team knows how to put the pieces in place to get the team and LeBron over the hump. It's happened here. We saw it.
Now the Heat,
I wouldn't think that the Knicks. I would totally get the Heat.
But
if I'm Donovan Mitchell and my name's being mentioned with the Miami Heat, I want to hear more.
Yeah, sure.
And by the way, all we can do is read tea leaves, because Donovan is not going to say, but let's look at what he's told us without saying a word. He didn't sign the extension.
Right.
At all.
He didn't sign it. Wasn't interested. That tells you that he's not all in on being in Cleveland for the future. If he was, he would have signed it.
That's right.
And so he told us all we need to know when he said, no, I'm good. I'm not going to sign that yet. I don't need to sign that yet. And there's a lot of fact to that. He doesn't need to sign it yet. It would be smart to wait. But he could have sent some smoke signals at that time and said, listen, I have every intention of staying in Cleveland, and I will sign an extension, but I want to get the most that I can. I want to play this out the right way, and now's not the best time for me strategically to sign it, so I'm going to hold off. He didn't say that.
No.
He just said, no, I'm good. And so for me, if I'm in the front office and all I can do is read tea leaves here, he's out. He's gone. So you better start working, and I would imagine they are. They're talking to the Heat. They're talking to the Knicks. They're talking from their point of view, they don't care where he goes. They just want the maximum return.
Well, but a team like the Knicks or the Heat are going to give up more because they're going to feel like they can keep him.
Probably, yeah.
A team that doesn't feel like they can keep him probably wouldn't
when I
offer
said
as
that,
much.
though, what I'm saying is, here's what they're looking at. They're not looking at, Donovan really wants to go to Miami.
No, who cares about that?
What you got?
And the Knicks might be more desperate. And if you're trading for draft picks, I'd rather trade them to the Knicks because the Knicks are more likely to screw them up than the Heat are.
Yeah, I know Donovan is a New York guy. His dad is in the front office of I think he's the communications director of the Mets. He has not been shy about his love of New York.
Yeah.
He's worn Mets hats to Browns games and Guardians games and all that. I don't care about any of that. What I care about is doing the right thing for the long-term future of this team.
100%.
And if I'm in the front office, the tea leaves that I'm reading is that he is not going to be here. He is not going to be a part. So now you have to look at the guys that you think that will, and we think that's Mobley, Allen, and Garland. Now, whether or not that core three stays together, I don't know. But you need to be thinking now, what pieces do we most need with the three that we have to put us over the top? And that's who you need to go out and make a trade for, if you can do it.
Hey, look, man. I would do this. I look at what the Guardians did, and people in the Shohei Ohtani thing. I'm not waiting, bro. I'm not waiting. All that wait till next year. We can.
Right.
No, I'm not waiting. I'm gonna go get me somebody today because the price today is gonna be higher than the price next year. We all know that. Don't fool yourself.
Right, because if you trade for Donovan Mitchell now, you get him for 2 postseason runs.
You get him twice.
That's why I think that they're probably listening and they'll probably be going.
And you can and look. Listen, I ain't saying that Porter Jr. or Sam Merrill or Imani Bates is gonna come in and give you what he's giving you. But one thing you can do, you could give them the playing time, you can recoup some assets, and you could get somebody back like a Tyler Hero. You could get that back and some picks. You could get that back, R.J. Barrett and some other different things that'll help you out. But my thing is, if you keep them as constituted, we know one thing. They're not winning no championship.
But my concern is that, you know how Dan Gilbert is, right? Like, is he going to admit they made a mistake in trading for him, or is he going to admit they can't win a championship, or is his pride going to get in the way?
Here's the thing, though, Bull. You're watching. Do you think they can?
I don't, but like,
I don't know.
Dan traded Kyrie, like screwed up the Kyrie trade when he was too involved.
No, he did. He did.
But
here's the other part of this equation that we haven't really touched on yet is, I think the elephant in the room is JB. I mean, and here's what scares me about this question. They're just willing to sit in the lazy river and meander their way down it with JB.
Yeah. He should have been gone last year.
We all saw it. We saw it with our own eyes. We saw what happened in the playoffs when the better team got outcoached and we were done with one victory in that series. We were out. I think that the answer to this question might be, if you're looking at what they're doing with their coach, maybe they're going to be status quo with the player too. Because now the thing is, how do they fire JB now? Because he's without two of his three superstars.
Easy.
Well, you and I say that, but there are whispers coming from the organization that they're going to sit tight now with JB because of these injuries. So what, we're just going to push the can down the road even further on? And we always say it. When the front office comes to the decision that this ain't it, perfect example, the kicker with the Browns.
Yeah.
He isn't the guy.
Move on.
They swallowed their pride and their ego. They cut him, and they traded for another kicker who ended up being the guy. They got that one right. But before you can get it right and fix it, you have to acknowledge it's broken. It's not working.
You have when the Cavs traded for Donovan Mitchell, the hope was that Evan Mobley would become a superstar.
Yeah.
And then you'd have the three superstars essentially, and you could win a championship. Well, that obviously Mobley has not gotten any better.
No.
He's just a, I don't know, he's a nice player.
And Bull,
but
let me ask you this,
special.
and you can answer too. There was some whispers early.
Yeah.
I mean, we were caught up in the euphoria as much as anyone.
Sure.
But I had a friend of mine who covers the association say your only problem is making sure that these young flowers get enough water with a huge flower in the room now who's going to suck up all the water.
Yeah.
And it was an interesting analogy to me because the flower thing is exactly right. They're young, they're blossoming, they're growing. Well, if you steal the water from them and you give them to another flower that's already established, that one's going to continue to grow and be an oak flower. But these two over here need water constantly. They're young. And I wonder if when the organization pivoted and said, we're all in on Donovan Mitchell, did they stunt the growth of Mobley and Allen?
Yeah,
because they have not moved along the continuum like we all thought they would.
I think Allen is what he is. I mean, but
for Mobley though,
who knows?
There were talks of him being the unicorn.
Right. And now that he's not, or at least he's not with Donovan Mitchell, they're stuck in that medium place where you never want to be in the NBA.
Because
right.
you started to watch these other guys and you're like, hold on. Why can't Chet Holmgren shoot like that? Hold on.
Right.
Wemby takes the ball up and down the court at will. You're like, dang, bro, this is kind of, or you look at guys like Ben Carroll. You're like, man, Ben Carroll ain't 7 foot, but he sure is every bit of 6'10", doing what he wants to.
Big guys can have that skill set.
Yeah.
There's
nothing worse than being a mid-team in the
purgatory.
NBA.
It's purgatory.
Like if you're a mid-team in Major League Baseball, you can get hot in the playoffs if you make it. Even in football, you can get, and hockey certainly, not that we've paid that much attention.
Well, you ride a hot goalie to the cup.
You could be an 8 seed and go
yes,
to,
it happens.
in the
It
NBA,
happens.
when you're mid, you're screwed.
Yeah,
that's why I was asking myself, why was I watching every game last year? But this year, I can't even force myself.
And you've said that, and I've said that, and I think collectively the three of us have already determined this ain't it.
No.
We thought it was. We thought it was going to blossom into something that could be, a deep playoff run. It didn't materialize last year. They came back status quo this year. They did go out and get some shooter pieces, but when they brought the coach back, and we saw early on that Mobley is still Mobley and Allen is still Allen, and there wasn't a lot of growth and development in the offseason, we all kind of collectively checked out.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the fans have too.